Attack first. They were going to attack. If we didn't do it, they were going to attack first.
Just ahead on Chapman News, President Trump doubles down on the U.S. attack on Iran. See how the world and Iranian-Americans in Orange County are reacting.
I'm Gabriela Reynoso. Starting this week, the Trump administration is restricting who can get a small business loan. I'll tell you more about the impact here in OC coming up on Chapman News.
Go get like a driver's license per se, but there should be something where
there are more and more young e-bike riders in OC. Coming up, we'll tell you what one local city is doing to address safety. That story plus weather and sports just ahead on Chapman News.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Simone Jackson.
And I'm Lisa Pressler. Our top story today, the latest developments in the U.S. attack on Iran. President Trump says Iran would have started a devastating war in the Middle East if he had not ordered the U.S. military attack on the country. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed during the initial U.S. and Israel strikes on Saturday. He had been in power for nearly 4 decades. Speaking in the Oval Office today, President Trump says previous administrations should have taken action against the Islamic Republic.
Because they're evil and they're bad. It's a bad seed, and somebody had to do it. And it should have been done sometime during a 47-year period because so much death has been caused by them.
President Trump also today said the U.S. attack killed some of the top regime leaders, which his administration had thought could be the next possible leader of Iran. He also urged the Iranian people to take control of the government. Iran has responded to the U.S. attack by launching missiles and drones at Israel and American bases in several Middle Eastern countries. U.S. citizens have been told to leave the region immediately.
Thousands have marched in the streets across Southern California, both in support of and against the U.S. attack on Iran. Chapman News reporter Nico Schwegler has the story.
Over 500,000 Iranian-Americans call Southern California home, many celebrating yet contemplating the future after the death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Being an Iranian right now is very complicated, I feel like emotionally. I mean, I've seen like my own family like smile and dance at the bombs entering their country, which is like such an like it's just has been so surreal.
There are still many questions about what is next for Iran, yet people are hoping and excited for a new chapter.
So I know I, again, speak for most of us when I say we are so excited to see a democracy come to Iran and modernization and westernization come to Iran.
And while optimism is high, a regime change may be slow to come, and there is no guarantee it would be favorable to the U.S. Dr. Hannah Ridge, a Chapman University political science professor, told Chapman News, quote, "Change is a low threshold. It just means different than now. It could look like a new Ayatollah, or it could be a new constitution. Trump and Netanyahu seem to hope the bombing will foment a civil war to weaken Iran's military. Historically, regime change caused by aerial bombardments has not produced governments favorable to the countries that did the bombing," end quote. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Nico Schwegler.
The Mexico military operation that recently killed that country's largest drug cartel leader has ties to Orange County. The stepson of the powerful cartel leader, who was known as El Mencho, was born in Santa Ana. In a 2021 report, federal agents said 41-year-old Juan Carlos Valencia Gonzalez is one of the top deputies in the cartel his father led. A DEA investigation found that Gonzalez oversees the manufacturing, transport, and distribution of large quantities of narcotics, while also ordering killings to keep the cartel in power. The death of El Mencho has sparked retaliatory violence in Mexico, and multiple National Guardsmen there have been killed.
High-powered coastal cameras will be going up in southern OC. The San Clemente City Council is working with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection on the project. The cameras will monitor activity near beach access points and coastal bluffs. Officials say they are designed to detect and deter illegal maritime crossings. Council member Mark Inmeyer addresses concerns about privacy.
Landings in San Clemente, And the idea being that these cameras will be able to spot them offshore before they land. And that can be a legitimate concern. We've had about 18 Ponga boat landings in the last year. But for me, that concern shouldn't then negate our other concerns of our liberties and our privacy.
The city says it will control who can access the cameras and how long recorded footage will be stored.
ICE is leasing office spaces in Santa Ana and Irvine in an attempt to become a larger presence in Orange County. The publication Wired reports ICE will lease space at 2020 Main Street in Irvine and 34 Civic Center Plaza in Santa Ana. The offices will be occupied by ICE street agents and lawyers. Wired also reports ICE has leased more than 150 spaces in all 50 states. Some of the spaces are reported to be near elementary schools, medical offices, and places of worship. As of this week, the Trump administration is restricting who can receive a small business loan.
The change means some entrepreneurs, will be unable to get government support for their startups. Chapman News reporter Gabriela Reynoso joins us live now in the studio with the story.
Thanks, Simone and Lisa. The Trump administration now says in order to receive a loan, a small business must be 100% U.S. owned. This means green card holders, people who, with permission, live and work permanently in the U.S., are no longer eligible. I spoke with one local first-generation business owner about what this change could mean.
Octavio Palomo is co-owner of Jivo Ice Cream in Santa Ana. His sister Giselle owned 3 ice cream shops in Mexico before coming to OC. As first-time business owners, they receive guidance from the state Small Business Advocate Office. Octavio says it makes economic sense to support startups.
I'm assuming at least 90-80% of the businesses who open in the States, that's one of the goals, to make money, to provide jobs, to keep this country running well. And so for me, that puts whoever did not born in the States at a disadvantage.
Prior to the policy change, up to 5% of a business applying for a loan could be owned by non-U.S. citizens. Octavio Palomo told me banks are often hesitant to trust startups, which is why SBA loans can be so crucial. To him, the change feels unjust.
We're not eligible because we didn't born here, even though we became a citizen. So knowing that we don't get support, in a way, being a good citizen and having done our duties and everything that requires to be open, it's unfair. That's all it is. For me, it is unfair.
Palomo says despite the new restrictions, immigrants shouldn't give up on their goals.
Don't give up on your dream to put up a business. If you know your business is going to create jobs, and if you know your business is going to stand out, go for it.
Trump administration says it has implemented the policy change for small business loans as part of its overall goal to, quote, drive economic growth and job creation for American citizens. I'm Gabriela Reynoso reporting for Chapman News. Back to you guys.
After his name appeared in the latest release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, paleontologist and lecturer Jack Horner is no longer with Chapman University. Chapman Communications Director Robert Hitchcock told Chapman News, quote, Jack Horner is no longer with the university. In keeping with standard employment practices, we cannot provide any more information beyond that. In a LinkedIn post, Horner says he emailed with Epstein about financial support for a 2012 research project. Horner wrote, quote, my decision to pursue him as a donor was extremely poor judgment. Horner's LinkedIn profile says he is retired. The weather today here in OC is absolutely perfect, Simone.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Lisa. I need to head down to the beach soon. Let's take it over to Kira for our local weather update.
Yeah, Lisa and Simone, you are so correct. Today in Orange County, what you see is what you get. We have 70 degrees, sunny, and that 0% chance of rain, the best part of the day. And we're looking at our local map here. We can see our regional temps inland upper 70s, Anaheim and Orange in the upper 70s there. Santa Ana sitting at 75 and Irvine slightly cooler at 71. You see further inland over here that Corona and Riverside are going to be at the upper 70s and Populous 80s. Here, we do see the temperatures tend to drop. And Westminster at 68. Now here's what you can expect heading into the rest of the week. This is our 5-day Connection Forum here. And today we top out at 76 degrees with the sunshine and a low of 53 tonight. Slightly cooler tomorrow at 74 degrees, Wednesday and Thursday there. And Thursday and Friday, we're going to sit in that mid-70s. Winds do pick up Thursday and Friday here. You can see 20 miles per hour. So if you are headed to the beach or spending some time outside, be sure to bring that jacket. By Saturday, we warm up to 79 degrees. Plenty of sunshine heading into that weekend. Overall pattern, dry, mild, very Southern California. Stay tuned for your national weather update coming after the break.
Still to come, an entertainment industry veteran here at Chapman weighs in the possible fallout of the bidding war for Warner Brothers. That story and more coming up after the break.
I'm worried about Mom.
Mom? She's fine. These the ones, right, Mom?
Yeah, groundlings.
Sweet potatoes.
Daddy, it's salty.
Some things come with age.
And some don't.
Early detection of Alzheimer's can lead to better care for your loved one. Learn the early warning signs at 10signs.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Recent federal actions are restricting access to some gender-affirming hormone treatments and surgeries for transgender youth. Locally, a temporary court order is allowing certain treatments to continue at Children's Hospital Orange County. Chapman News reached out to CHOC for comment. The hospital says it will follow court orders but cannot comment further because of ongoing lawsuits. We also spoke with healthcare educator Britt Cervantes, who works closely with transgender youth and families. They say the uncertainty of is having a major impact.
There's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, people making really difficult decisions. So they're feeling like they can't show up as themselves. The biggest thing is fear of really not knowing what is going to happen to them.
The temporary order remains in place for another week, but the future of long-term care options for transgender youth remain uncertain.
California lawmakers are proposing what they call the biggest crackdown on drunk driving in more than 2 decades. It follows a report showing the state has some of the weakest DUI laws in the country.
Chapman News reporter Isaac Persky is in Orange this afternoon, and he joins us live with more on the story. Isaac?
Thanks, Lisa and Simone. I'm here live in Orange, outside the entrance to the 55 freeway, where behind me, hundreds of thousands of drivers are apparently risking their lives every single day. This because a Cal Matters report from last fall found that California has some of the weakest drunk driving laws in the country, and the consequences of this are deadly. Drunk driving related deaths have jumped more than 50% over the past decade. That's more than twice the increase of the rest of the country, with more than 1,300 people now dying each year in alcohol-related crashes across the state. I recently spoke with Georgina Avilés with Mothers Against Drunk Driving in Southern California, and she says that California needs to do better, saying, quote, DUI reform bills matter because right now they are treated as accidents instead of violent crimes. Now, a bipartisan group of lawmakers in Sacramento have decided that it is time for a change, and they're introducing 10 new DUI bills, including one that will make vehicular manslaughter a violent felony, meaning more time behind bars for those who kill while drunk driving. Other proposals include making it harder for those with DUIs to get their licenses back and making it easier for prosecutors to give out felonies to repeat offenders. Overall, Georgina Avilés says that while she's seen this play out before, she believes that a lot of these bills will not pass due to monetary reasons or others, But she is hopeful that for the proposals that do pass, and with future autonomous technology coming in the next 3 to 5 years, that California drunk driving will start to improve. Live in Orange, I'm Isaac Persky with Chapman News.
As cities continue to crack down on the e-bike recklessness, Fullerton City Council has pushed out new rules aimed at making streets safer. Chapman News reporter Isabella Savea shares the latest changes.
The new rules in the city of Fullerton will make it illegal for e-bike riders to swerve through traffic or perform stunts like wheelies. Speeds are now limited to 5 miles per hour on sidewalks and 15 on paved trails. While there is no minimum age for Class 1 e-bikes, which go up to 20 miles per hour, for Class 2 and 3 bikes that can get up to 28 miles per hour, you must be at least 16 years old. Fullerton Bicycle and e-bike company owner Mike Franzi thinks young e-bike riders should have some kind of mandatory safety training.
I don't feel the kid needs to go get like a driver's license per se, but there should be something where they're in a database in the state of California. My name is John Smith. He's 12 years old, and he's riding an e-bike, and he has passed this course of whatever amount of questions are on there, just to give him an understanding of the rules of the road, and most importantly, it leads back to safety.
Councilmember Nicholas Dunlap voted against the rules and says they should be banned from sidewalks, saying, quote, "These are not bicycles, they are motorized vehicles. Riders are often moving at a pace that would prevent a quick and proper response to pedestrians or others on the sidewalk. Folks using the sidewalk for what it is for, walking, shouldn't be forced to share it with motorized vehicles." The ordinance is now in effect as Fullerton joins other Orange County cities to rein in e-bike misuse. For more information about e-bike safety and the rules of the road, visit octa.net. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Isabella Savea.
Last fall, Chapman News told you about a new paid parking program that was coming to the popular Orange Circle near campus. This semester, we're following up to see what impact it is having on local businesses. Paid parking in the Orange Circle actually started about a month ago. The goal is to make parking spaces near stores and restaurants more available and reduce congestion. One local business owner says it has already had a positive impact on business.
Some of these large restaurants have a ton of employees that were taking up all of the parking. Since then, our parking lot will be virtually empty and our sales are double.
The meters operate daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with rates up to $2 an hour. Free parking remains available in the Lemon Street parking structure, a short walk from the Circle.
It's set to be demolished in the next few weeks, but there is apparently still some activity going on at the empty Westminster Mall. Local police say they've responded to more than 400 calls at the mall, which closed last October when the final 40 store tenants moved out. Plans are to turn the 83 acres into a mixed-use site, with more than 2,000 housing units, a 120-room hotel, and more than 200,000 square feet of retail space.
Entertainment industry veterans are reacting to the surprise development in the battle to take over the iconic Warner Brothers studio. Netflix walked away from a bidding war last week, clearing the way for Paramount Skydance. Joe Rosenberg, Chapman Director of Industry Relations and former Hollywood CAA agent, expressed concern that the deal could bring detrimental changes to the industry.
About the amount of job loss that there'll be. Paramount has taken on quite a lot of debt to acquire the company, and when you take a lot of debt to do anything, you've got to pay it down.
Paramount's all-cash bid totals roughly $110 billion.
And as we said earlier, this weather out today is incredible, Lisa.
I would totally agree, Simone. And back with some more weather updates. Kira, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at the national picture here. We're actually seeing a pretty active pattern across the eastern half of this country this morning and pushing through the Midwest and Great Lakes region up here. We see some widespread precipitation, much colder air behind that over there. Chicago and Detroit are going to be sitting at 38 degrees. Minneapolis, a tiny bit warmer at 51 degrees, but still feeling cooler under that cloud cover. As that system does push eastward with a mix of rain and snow, it's going to be hitting parts of Pennsylvania, New York, New England, and Boston are sitting at 36 degrees. Philadelphia at 40 with that steady rainfall right over down there. And in the south here, we can see it is actually a completely different story. We see Dallas at 82 degrees, San Antonio and Phoenix both in the upper to mid 80s, Miami at 80, and Tampa at 81 degrees. Out west where we are right now, Los Angeles is at 73 degrees, San Fran at 59 degrees. We got some cloud cover over there. Seattle and Portland also in those 50s, pretty overcast skies over there. Overall, we're looking at a pretty decent split across the country, and that is it for your local, national, and weather forecasts. I'm Kira Johnson reporting for Chapman News.
I'm Lindsay Johnson. Chapman lacrosse, women's hockey, and the Deaf Olympics. Stories of athletes overcoming obstacles and breaking records. All of that coming up in sports after the break.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
It'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
It's spring semester here at Chapman, and that means the start of lacrosse.
Yes, it does, Lisa. The team is facing some challenges this season, but sports anchor Lindsay Johnson joins us now with that story and more.
Thank you, Lisa and Simone. It's a theme with us in sports today. Chapman teams and athletes overcoming obstacles. Let's get right to it. Chapman lacrosse is off to a solid 4-1 start as the Panthers look to a bounce back from a tough year last spring. The team is coming off its worst season in more than a decade and lost 2 key off-season transfers with ACL injuries. Team captain Nico Orsino is focused on working hard and encouraging his teammates.
I've been trying to preach to the guys, like, we're not going to just, come out and win because we're Chapman. Like, we got to work hard. We still got to, come out and grind, and I think we did that this week, and we're feeling good about the weekend up ahead.
The Panthers take on UC Santa Barbara this Saturday. It's an away game and starts at 7 p.m. Last semester, we wished Chapman University swimmer Samantha Fuji good luck at the Deaf Olympics in Tokyo. And now she is back with a few special souvenirs from her trip. Chapman News reporter Aussie Han has more.
Last November, Sammy Fuji was selected to represent Team USA at the Deaf Olympics. Although it was her second time competing, she says this year felt even more intense.
We were just busy. We didn't have any time to do anything else outside of our own agendas.
The Team USA swim team ended up bringing home a total of 19 medals, and Sammy helped bring home 2 of them, a bronze and a gold. She says that she's absolutely in love with the details in the medals.
I love the box, and I just also like the design and what they chose, because that's you can just tell the story to your family, to your kids, or it can go on for generations.
However, Fuji says one of her proudest moments was cheering on her teammates during their finals.
My most favorite was for the finals because it's just cheering my teammates on, and some of them broke the world deaf record.
Although Sammy announced her retirement from competitive swimming, she isn't ready to leave the sport behind and hopes to return to the next games, but as a board member.
After I came back, I asked my director for Team USA Swim if I can join the board member. And my director said that they would love to hire me. I'm looking forward to getting a text from her so I can join the board member.
Fuji says even though her competitive career ends on a high note, swimming will always hold a special place in her heart. I'm Aussie Hahn, reporting for Chapman News.
After their recent gold medal win at the Winter Olympics, some think the U.S. women's hockey team was disrespected by President Trump as he congratulated the men's team, which also won gold. The president invited the men to the White House and said he would also have to invite the women's team. While some people said it was just a joke, others think the comments speak to the fact that accomplishments of women's sports teams are somehow seen as less. At Chapman University, Coach Delaney Benson has been leading the women's lacrosse program for 3 years and is pushing for more coverage of women's sports. I had the chance to speak with Coach Benson this weekend, and she shared that in her career at Chapman, she has seen an increase in viewership in women's sports. She believes the best way to continue showing support for women's sports is simply students at Chapman coming out to watch games. Coach Benson believes more support for these women's sports can be made just right here in the Chapman community. That's the latest for now. I'm Lindsay Johnson, and I'll be back next week with more local sports action.
I'm Jenna McLaughlin, and for some families, a trip to a children's museum can feel overwhelming. But twice a month, one local museum transforms its space to better support neurodivergent children. That story after the break.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross.
And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Stephen.
Good afternoon and welcome to
this edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Asian communities around the world have been celebrating the Lunar New Year. It's a time for renewal, family reunion, and new beginnings. Here at Chapman, the Chinese language program gives students a hands-on look at the meaning behind the celebration. Students participate in calligraphy workshops, create spring couplets on red paper, and learn the cultural symbolism behind the characters of the Chinese language.
Chinese is the most spoken language in the world, and when we know language, it's not just language, culture and language go hand in hand. And remember, our mission at Chapman is to be a global citizen, right?
And if you're looking to continue the celebration here in Orange County, the annual Lantern Festival will take place this Saturday at the Renee and Henry Segerstrom Concert Hall in Costa Mesa. The free event runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and will feature live music and dance performances, lantern decorating, and cultural demonstrations.
A nonprofit writing center here in OC has wrapped up its month-long Drive to Ride fundraiser to support making a lasting impact on how therapeutic writing programs support for individuals with disabilities. Staff at the Shea Writing Center say writing transforms their lives of many. Christina Gingras, the donor relations manager, speaks to how the benefits of riding horses goes beyond the stable.
Those clients, like I said, who quite literally walk their first steps at the Shea Center and speak their first words. But we also see kids who are able to engage more in the classroom because they have more confidence.
All contributions to Shea help with horse care. If you'd like to donate, you can go to sheacenter.org.
For many families with neurodivergent children, finding a space where their kids can simply be themselves isn't always easy.
But one local children's museum is working to change that. Reporter Jenna McLaughlin joins us now live with that story. Jenna?
Thank you, Lisa and Simone. Neurodivergent is a term used to describe people whose brains process information differently, including those with autism, ADHD, sensory processing disorders, and other developmental differences. Let's take a look at what Pretend City Children's Museum in Irvine is doing to create a special space for neurodivergent children and their families. On the second Tuesday and fourth Thursday of every month, Pretend City Children's Museum's doors reopen after closing. The lights are dimmed, sound softened, and the space is transformed into a sensory-friendly environment designed specifically for neurodivergent children. And tickets? completely free. For many families, this night provides a sense of comfort.
I had one family tell me that their first time coming to Neurodivergent Family Night, it felt like a breath of fresh air because they were in a space where no one would judge them and their kids could, act like themselves without people making harsh assumptions because other families who are present might experience similar things.
One parent says she's returned again and again, coming 40 to 60 times.
My child feels actually at home when he comes here. He's in his zone. It's like a second family.
Pretend City also offers free developmental screenings.
Those developmental screenings are so important because the parents are able to learn that their children may need some early intervention. And it's wonderful that this is a catalyst to help them learn through developmental play. So it has really changed the lives of so many people that I know.
And if smiles are any indication,
it's so fun.
This night is doing exactly what it's meant to do. For families and children who may not always feel understood in traditional spaces, this night offers something powerful: belonging. For more information about Neurodivergent Night, visit pretendcity.org. For Chapman News, I'm Jenna McLaughlin.
Well, that's all for this edition of Chapman News. I'm Simone Jackson.
And I'm Lisa Pressler. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow our social media. We'll see you next week.